On Friday, legal proceedings were initiated to prevent the Monday deportation of a man, prompting the Human Rights Law Center to warn of a dangerous precedent. This High Court challenge directly targets Australia's clandestine agreement with Nauru to deport individuals from the NZIC cohort, potentially halting the first such removal. The case hinges on a November 2023 High Court ruling that deemed indefinite detention unlawful if there's no real prospect of deportation in the reasonably foreseeable future. This principle directly challenges the government's actions. A week prior, Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke announced a deal with Nauru for the expedited removal of 3 men categorized as violent offenders, including a convicted murderer. This agreement marks the inaugural application of legislation passed in November, granting the Australian government the authority to financially incentivize third countries to accept unlawful non-citizens and permitting redetention if refusal occurs. The secrecy surrounding this deal, the lack of transparency in its negotiation, and the potential for human rights abuses have sparked widespread criticism from human rights organizations, legal experts, and opposition. The swiftness with which the deportation is being pursued raises serious concerns about due process and the fair treatment of the individuals involved. The Nauruan president, David Ading, defended the agreement, asserting that the 3 men, while imprisoned, had served their time. However, this statement fails to address crucial aspects of the case, notably the legality of the initial detention and the potential for human rights violations within Nauru's detention system. Reports of past abuses within Nauru's immigration detention centers, including allegations of torture, sexual assault, and inadequate medical care, cast a long shadow over this deal. These concerns further intensify the gravity of the situation and the potential for irreversible harm to the individuals involved. The lack of independent oversight and monitoring mechanisms within Nauru adds another layer of complexity, making it difficult to ascertain the true conditions. The ramifications of this case extend far beyond the immediate fate of these 3 men. It raises profound questions about Australia's commitment to international human rights law, its obligations towards refugees and asylum seekers, and the ethical implications of outsourcing its responsibilities to countries with questionable human rights records. The challenge presents a critical opportunity for the High Court to clarify the boundaries of Australia's power in relation to deportation, particularly in situations involving opaque agreements with third-party nations. The court's decision will not only impact the lives of these individuals, but also set a significant precedent for future deportation cases, potentially shaping Australia's immigration policy for years to come. The government's justification for the deal that these individuals pose a threat to public safety needs to be scrutinized thoroughly and independently verified. The lack of transparency surrounding the evidence used to support this claim fuels concerns about potential bias and a lack of due process. Moreover, the government's reliance on Nauru's assurances regarding the treatment of these men raises questions about the credibility of such assurances, given Nauru's own track record on human rights. The Human Rights Law Center's assertion that this sets a dangerous precedent is well-founded. If this deportation is allowed to proceed without proper judicial scrutiny, it could pave the way for a wider practice of circumventing due process and international legal obligation. This could lead to a significant erosion of human rights protections and create a chilling effect on individuals seeking asylum in Australia. The High Court's decision, therefore, is not merely a legal matter, but carries immense ethical and political weight, determining the future trajectory of Australia's treatment of refugees and asylum seekers. The international community is watching closely, and the outcome of this case will have significant implications for Australia's standing on the world stage. The world is waiting with bated breath.